In most of the cases, what happens is the energy, whatever may be the alternative energy we are looking at, whether it may be solar energy, wind energy, geothermal, hydro, every energy will be converted into a form of electrical form of energy. It is only because we are dependent on electrical energy more. Is it clear? Now, let me talk about the differences between a conventional and non-conventional, or it can also be called as non-renewable and renewable energy sources. You can make around 20 to 30 points, but few I have listed out here. These sources, the conventional energy sources, are not abundant in nature. They are not abundant in nature, present in limited quantity. Whereas these non-renewable, non-conventional energy sources are abundantly available in nature, free of cost. Okay, examples you can write it on: wind energy, tidal energy, biogas, all those things. They have been in use for a longer period of time. They are yet in development phase over the past few years. Okay, they are already been existing from the long time, whereas these, it has to exist. Okay, whereas they are not replenished continuously. They are formed over a million of years. They are replenished continuously by natural processes. What do you mean by this replenished? Do you know how these petroleum products have been formed? Basically, what happens when this earth has been formed millions and millions of years ago? What happens? All these plantations, everything got entrapped in the absence of oxygen or in the absence of air and been packed over the depth of the earth and made it to degrade and make it a liquid in a hydrocarbons. They are called as a petroleum products which have been formed, and that is what we are just extracting it. They are also called as a non-renewable and they are called as a renewable energy source. Okay, they can be exhausted completely due to overconsumption except for idle power, whereas they cannot be exhausted completely. Okay, they pollute the environment by emitting harmful gases and also contribute to global warming. They are environmental friendly and do not pollute the environment. Is it clear? They are commonly used for industrial and commercial purposes. They are used commonly for only household purposes. No, actually, even nowadays, the wind turbines and even the solar grids, nowadays you can see it. The farmers also, they are going with this. Acres together, they will put only the solar cells in order to extract the solar energy into electrical energy. They are commonly used for industrial and that's okay. Heavy expenditure is involved in using and maintaining these sources of energy. The sources is less expensive. I mean to say that they are not at all expensive maintenance. They are used higher rate than conventional sources. They are not used as extensive conventional energy sources. There are all the differences actually, my dear friends. Still, you can increase points once you understand what you mean by non-conventional and what you mean by conventional energy sources. Different sources of energy. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are exhaustible in nature sources because fossil fuels requires millions of years to form from the dead vegetation and animal that gets buried deep inside the earth. Inside the earth, they all went inside because maybe because of the earthquake or maybe because of the any natural calamities, they all went inside beneath the earth, and because of this dead vegetation and animals, what happens at a very high pressure and temperature, and in the absence of air, they formed a hydrocarbon, a liquids or the gases, which cannot be provided in the laboratory, or else people might have gone for the preparation of petroleum also, isn't it? So the examples are oil, coal, and natural gas, as well as minerals like iron, copper, and aluminum. All these things, actually, my dear friends, oil, coal, natural gas, they all have a good calorific value. Higher calorific value, they produce more heat, isn't it? So, and also here we have also categorized iron, copper, aluminum, these metals also. That is the way they have formed. Is it clear? Then hydro or tidal energy sources. Hydro is nothing, it is a Greek word actually. Hydro means water. Power means the energy that we are getting it from the water is nothing but hydropower or a water power, which is being powered derived from the energy of falling water or a fast running water, which possess the kinetic energy, which may be harnessed for useful purposes. Flowing water creates energy that can be captured and turned into electricity. Maybe because of there are two ways that we can extract it. One is the potential energy, and the other one is a kinetic energy. Anything, the water which has been stored with certain height, that is what we call it as a potential energy. Maybe civil people, they are very much aware of it. Okay, they are very much aware of it. This is the potential energy, the water which has been stored with certain height, which we denote it by head. We call it as a head, denoted by Z. It is nothing but a potential energy. Say, for example, the water which has been stored in a syntax. What energy does it possess? It is a potential energy. Once you switch on the tap, what happens? It flows with some velocity. Whenever it is flowing with certain velocity, the potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. So thus kinetic energy is being utilized for generating electricity. So this is what we call it as a harnessing. The reason why we have used a dam. Have you ever seen dam getting open in the rainy season? Only in case of overflow, only they will open it. Or else the major intention of the dams are only to store the energy or the store the water for the summer or the later stages. Is it clear? Whenever there is a scarcity, they will use that. Okay, so that is nothing but hydro energy or tidal energy sources. Now you can see this. Now this is a dam or a reservoir. We also call it a reservoir or a dam. Usually dams are made for a multi-purposes. One is for the power generation, one is for the irrigation purpose, one is once again it is for the water source purposes. So it is being made of based on a requirement. Now here, if you see this, the water height is nothing but a head, which we call it as a head, or we also denote it by Z. Now you can see that there will be a conduit or a pipe, a big pipe, which we call it as a penstock. Penstock is nothing but a big cylindrical pipes which have been placed at certain height from the bottom of the dam, wherein which the gate will be closed. Once the as now, my dear friends, the water which is flowing in the penstock will provide the kinetic energy. I do agree, but if you want a more kinetic energy, it should have a higher potential energy. That is one small example I would like to tell you. You have seen a water bottle, 25 liters water bottle. Now, please be careful. If the water is completely filled up to the top, if you open the top, it comes with a higher velocity. If the same bottle, if it is only water filled, one fourth of the bottle is been filled. If you open the tap now, does the water comes with the same velocity? No, certainly no. Because when it is completely filled, the potential energy is more. That available potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. When only the part or one fourth of the bottle is filled, the available potential energy is less. So obviously the so much of potential energy will be converted into kinetic energy. As simple as that. Is it clear? So what they will do it is they will store it up to the maximum level. So the highest potential energy that will be converted into kinetic energy. Now this water which is coming through these penstocks will have a nozzle at the end. This nozzle is the one which converts the pressure energy into kinetic energy with a very high velocity makes and strikes the blades of the turbine. Once this turbine is been starts rotating, then the kinetic energy has been converted into mechanical energy. Is it clear? So this mechanical energy, what happens will be further converted into a electrical energy using a generator. The water which is striking the blades will not get wasted. Once again, it will go back to the river, and this water may be used for the agriculture purpose or some other purposes. Is it clear? So this is how the hydel energy is been harnessed. The water energy or hydro energy is been harnessed by this hydel power plants. Is it clear? Next, it's the solar energy. Sun is the source of an energy on the planet Earth. It is a large nuclear reactor where hydrogen gas is continuously burning at a high temperature and pressure. My dear friends, don't get ambic with this. Actually, the how this solar energy is the source for all the planets over here in our system, the solar system. What happens? How the energy is being produced in the solar, in the sun? The fusion reaction always takes place. What do you mean by fusion and what do you mean by fission reaction? I will come to that later. Fusion is a one of the nuclear energy source wherein which the two light neutrons or nucleus or atoms will be forcibly made into combined to form a heavy nucleus, or I mean to say a molecule which releases an enormous amount of energy. Nuclear energy is when you come to the different energy levels, nuclear energy is the only energy which produces the maximum energy compared to any other energy sources. You just imagine, my dear friends, I tell you, roughly it is 1.68 into 10 to the power of 10 meters we are away from the sun. 1.68 into 10 to the power of 10 meters, the distance, I'm so sorry, kilometers that we are far away. 10 to the power of 10 kilometers we are far away from the sun, but still we feel the heat and light. So you just imagine what is the huge amount of energy that is being produced on the surface of the sun. It is really an incredible. Is it clear? So such a huge energy is being done. So only we are just saying it as a nuclear reactor where hydrogen gas is continuously burning at a higher temperature. So this energy generated by sun into the space is received on the earth as electromagnetic radiant energy. Radiant energy, I just shall tell you, electromagnetic, maybe electronics people and computer science people, they have a better knowledge about this electromagnetic radiations. Now, my dear friends, if some electrical energy is flowing, if you touch the wire, you feel that energy is flowing, and there is some material medium for transferring it. Correct? Say, for example, if I'm heating it in a pressure cooker, some material medium is there, some gas is there, which makes it to burn. Then you just imagine, my dear friends, between sun and earth, there is no material medium. We don't have any cable connection. Is it not? We don't have any cable connection there. We don't have any means of connections. There is nothing. Earth atmosphere, we don't have anything. Do we have air? No, we don't have anything. But still we are getting the heat. It is only because of the electromagnetic radiant energy, or else we also call it as the packets of energy. Packets of energy is nothing but photons. Photons by which we are getting an electromagnetic radiant energy. That means these electromagnetic radiants or photons can transmit energy even in the absence of any material medium. That means even it doesn't require any gas. In the space itself, you can generate. Reason why all of our satellites are working with this solar energy. Is there any KV connection between satellite to the earth? No, not at all. There is no electrical supply or nothing is there. They are just utilizing the solar energy. That is the reason why even you might have observed it. Satellites will also have two wings. Those two or four wings will be there, and those wings are completely covered with solar cells. That is the one which converts the heat of solar radiations into the electrical energy or the energy which is required for the satellites and its working. That is the beauty of this solar energy sources. Solar power is one of the best renewable energy sources available because it is one of the cleanest sources of energy. Why he says it is the cleanest sources of energy? What does it mean? I'll because I'm just claiming it as the cleanest energy source of, among all energy sources. It is only because it doesn't pollute. Wind energy, when it is coming, at least it will come with some dust. Do you agree or not? One thing, wind energy, when it is rotating, it will make a huge noise. That is a noise pollution will be there. Do you agree or not? Say for example, if you take a biomass after burning it, it will get a ashes. You will get ash. When you burn it, you will get a gases, smoke. You will get it. Is it clear? So, solar energy is the one in which you don't find any sort of pollution related to that. That is why we always call it as a cleanest sources of energy. Is it clear? Apart from the power generation, solar energy is also used in the following applications. Apart from electrical energy generations, nowadays, my dear friends, actually, if you go for a campuses, maybe a company or it may be college campuses also, you can see the street lights where they above the street light there will be a one panel wherein which there will be solar light. In the solar panels, PV cells will be there. PV stands for photovoltaic. Photovoltaic. What do you mean by photovoltaic? Photo means light, voltaic means current. The light energy will be converted into potential difference or the electrical energy. Those cells are called as a photovoltaic cells. Basically, my dear electronics students must be knowing it much better, where this photovoltaic cells uses a semiconductors like germanium, silicon, all those things. So these are used in order to convert the solar energy into directly into electrical energy, and that electrical energy is being utilized maybe for water heating. So sorry, for lighting the lamps or maybe a refrigeration or different sources. Is it clear? Apart from this electrical energy, solar energies are also used for solar water heating system for residentials, hotels and industries. Nowadays, every house will have most of all this solar water heater, and every new house construction has to incorporate solar systems. That is, government has been made it as a mandatory in order to encourage the use of alternative energy sources and less dependence on the conventional energy sources. Then desalination plant for obtaining drinking water from the seawater. Maybe you must be knowing it, civil people, wherein which you must be knowing a seawater is not good for drinking purpose as such in nature. But what we do it is we will convert the water into seawater into drinking water. That means salination. That means salt content. We are just removing it. We are just desalinating it. That is, we are making it free from the salt. Is that clear? In that purpose also we use a solar energy. And my dear friends, I would like to put one more word over here. Even in the generation of the salt preparation, they are then there also they use solar water, the solar systems. Okay. Then the solar cookers for domestic cooking. I don't think it is more effective compared to the other things. Nowadays earlier we used to prepare it in a earthened pots, muddy earthened pots. We used to use it. Later on, we started steel. Then later on, we started aluminum. Then nowadays, we go for a pressure cooker. Now, even the pressure cooker is also old. Now we have a rice cookers. Rice cookers. Within 2 minutes or 3 minutes, we want the rice to be prepared. Is it clear? In such a kind of things, how do you take 1 hour or a half an hour to prepare the rice in the solar cooker? Well, it is not. But still, it is also a possible. Who knows in future, once the petroleum products gets over, maybe we will have to depend upon this solar cookers itself. No, actually, not only this thing, actually, even for the drying purpose also. Drying the seeds, drying the crops. There also, we use drying applications which we call it as a solar dryer. You might have seen it. People, the farmers, they always put all those agricultural things on the roads for the drying it purpose. Is it clear? Solar systems are also available as a solar dryers. Then the residential heating. Apart from this, actually, there are refrigeration systems which works on solar energy, and we have a air conditioning systems also which works on solar systems. That is the beauty. And now, if you want to take up a project in the next semester or in the present semester itself, there is a one concept called hybrid lighting. Hybrid lighting is a one wherein which you will have something like an umbrella. All the solar cells will be there. At the bottom, you will have a gear system wherein which in the morning east it will be like this, and it will track the system, and the west it will be red like a sunflower. How the sunflower will be there? It will track the path of the sun. Same way, even the solar systems will also be tracking like this. That will be more effective. This is one plus point. And the second point is the solar IR radiations, infrared radiations are being at the bottom of this some optical fibers which transmit the light as it is inside the buildings. Maybe my difference, a crowded the cities like Bangalore, where in which one building to the other building, there will be so compact. Even in the afternoon times of midday, they go for electrical bulbs and lightings. In such cases, they will also use this. Hybrid lighting is one of the most advanced concept. You can go through it. And solar energy can be used either for absorbing radiations to produce heat or by converting it directly into electricity by the following methods. One is a photovoltaic cells. They are also called popularly as the solar cells. The charge separation is developed across the junction between semiconductors. Semiconductors may be more than me. You must be having the knowledge because of electronics background, where the germanium, silicon, all those semiconductors, they act at a higher when the energy has been gained. They act as a conductor. When there is no energy, they will act as an insulator. They are called as a semiconductors. Is it not? So this, who will give the energy to convert these semiconductors into conductors? The solar energy will give you the energy. That is the beauty behind of that. Nowadays, even the solar pumps are also there. That means using the solar energy, they will also pump the water. Solar trough collectors, sunlight hitting the solar trough collector is reflected onto the pipe and heat the fluid. They are called as a solar trough collectors. Is that clear? And then power tower is also there, an array of sun tracking mirrors, and then solar furnace. Thousands of small plane mirrors are arranged in concave reflectors in order to make it uh, in a convertible format. Okay. Uh, Tomorrow I just I'll continue with the other things.